Unmute yourself.
Yeah.
Done.
Shall I start?
Okay, Dada. Namaskar.
Introduce the program.
Okay. Namaskar to everyone. So now finally we are in the third stage of MICROVITA classes. This is MICROVITA part 3 classes, and we have once again here Acharya RAMESHVARANANDA. So nothing to introduce about him. You very well know Acharya RAMESHVARANANDA Dadaji is a senior Acharya, an elderly Acharya Dada, and he has been a laureate in different fields. So you have been hearing him right from Ananda Marga philosophy to yogic science to Protestant ideology, and now he is talking on elaborate and in-depth about MICROVITA, which really requires research. So I just welcome Acharya Rameshwaran Dadaji. Rameshwaran Dada, please start. Namaskar.
Namaskar to all of you. I'm sorry for a little delay of 20 minutes because of some technical problems here. Anyway, my Baba's grace, nothing happens without a cause. So with that spirit, let me begin the present day class. You know, we have been conducting these seminar classes as a program of Baba's birthday centenary year. And that's how we started. And today it happens to be the celebration of the birthday here in Ananda. And that's how the centenary year is going to be completed. And in that connection, so far, I could present only 8 seminar classes, which happens to be today's 8th topic, that is MICROVITA. So I told earlier, Baba had given a lead, an intellectual lead in every walk, in every intellectual pursuit, an ideological lead, and which we were explaining one by one, seminar by seminar. And today, in continuation of one of his contributions, that is the MICROVITA, the mysterious emanation of cosmic factor, a scientific paradigm, which has a great significance for the scientific community. That MICROVITA, this program, whole material, whatever I could collect from MICROVITA in a nutshell, yoga psychology, and few more books, I compile it in the form of the presentation, that is MICROVITA theory as such. Then locating it, identifying it in the philosophy of Ananda Marga. Then finding its entry point in the sciences. So MICROVITA as theory, a scientific paradigm, MICROVITA in the philosophical realm, MICROVITA in the field of science, and finally the MICROVITA and spirituality. You know, the summum bonum of human life, the supreme desideratum of human life is the spiritual macrocosmic consciousness, supreme consciousness. So spirituality being the goal of human life. So how this MICROVITA phenomenon is connected and how we can make use of this knowledge for our onward march in the field of spirituality. So MICROVITA theory as such, which we had dealt in our first class, then MICROVITA in philosophy, that was also dealt. Next, last seminar in the month of April that was held, MICROVITA in science. And finally, today's program, MICROVITA and spirituality. And later on, in the same connection, we want to have it an action plan based on this knowledge of MICROVITA, what action plan we can hold, we can have. That is the last part, summarizing it. So in the tradition of Indian philosophy, Baba had developed the school philosophy. Excuse me. Philosophy, the part of Advaita, Dvaita, Advaita. So from Dvaita, plurality, Dvaita, and finally returning to the Advaita state. So in philosophy, there used to be 4 parts.
Dada, you have unmute yourself. You have done unmute. Your picture is in Ramadasa and you are speaking through Acharya Rameshwarananda. So you have to speak only in that where your picture is there. So you are speaking in one and your picture is in another. So please unmute. I'll make Ramadasa also as host. 1 minute.
Unmute.
1 minute, Dada. So
It's okay now. It is okay now.
It is okay. Yeah, you speak in this where you have the picture. Now it is okay. Please continue.
There are 4 parts. That is the epistemology, Ishvara Tattva, metaphysics, Shrashti Tattva, creation, then ontology, the Jnana Tattva, and the sadhana part. And Baba added 2 more parts to this philosophy, that is the science of mind and the Niti Shastra, the code, moral code. So thus, in Anandamar philosophy, we have the 6 parts of which we are dealing today, the MICROVITA subject as part of philosophy as well as part of science of mind. So, yeah. So there remain many unsolved mysteries in science. This new science of MICROVITA has the potential to shed light on these unsolved mysteries and the potentiality to expand the boundaries of scientific ability to unimaginable new horizons. In his revolutionary discourses on MICROVITA, he gave us the basics of this new science and encouraged human beings to begin researching on MICROVITA urgently. Then regarding that other part of this class, spirituality. Many people think spirituality means religion. They equate religion as spirituality. So it is necessary to clarify, spirituality is not a utopian ideal, but a practical philosophy which can be practiced and realized in day-to-day life, however mundane it be. Spirituality stands for evolution and elevation, and not for superstition, inaction, or pessimism. All fissiparous tendencies and group or clan philosophies which tend to create the shackles of narrow-mindedness are in no way connected with spirituality and should be discouraged. That which leads to broadness of unison alone should be accepted. Spirituality stands for universal fraternity. So spirituality should lead human beings to the one cosmic truth from which they have derived their selves, Jivatma, and which is the ultimate destiny. So, while dealing this subject of spirituality, how MICROVITA is significant in this pursuit. Before I start, there is one small episode that is in 1965, Baba, a number of discussions were held in the field walks with Baba. So he remarked that it would not be possible for any branch of physical science to penetrate into sphere more subtle than the physical universe, and that what is beyond the physical universe cannot be analyzed in a science laboratory. It can only be understood in the mental laboratory by developing one's intuition. So Baba said that human beings would one day develop this ability to penetrate and understand these subtle realms. In a discourse in May 1983, he further commented that golden day is sure to come when a clear understanding of the intra-atomic world will be reached, when human intuition will realize that the essence of subatomic world is pure consciousness. That was long ago. Then there was a DMC. I'm just explaining episode, no picture required at the moment. There was DMC held in Fatehgarh in UP, 1965, when the collector of that district, Rajendra Kumar Asthana, was a very devoted Margi. So Baba had stayed for 3 days, and he, Rajendra Kumar being an intellectual as well and a devotee, he asked some question to Baba. So he was well read in the idea and ideology in which Baba has explained the creation of the universe, Sanchar, Pratisanchar, and so on. So he questioned Baba that, Baba, you did not discuss the exact point where the evolution of physical world started. You merely mentioned that from the Bhuvarloka, or the crude mental sphere of the cosmic mind, the creative process descends to physical level with the formation of ACHARYA factor. That is a bit vague. Can you kindly shed further light on the primordial stage of creation of physical matter? Rajendra, Baba's answer, Rajendra, do you want to know about all the secrets of creation from me? In replying, he said, Baba, scientists all over the world are groping in dark on this subject. Moreover, the particular stage of creation that you have hinted at touches the psychic world. So I don't think that the scientists of today will ever understand anything about it, as the research is confined only to the physical plane. Then Baba answered, but to discover it in the job, to discover it is the job of is the job of the scientist. Why should I say something about it? Let them find out. Baba humorously said. Then to that Rajendra Kumar answered, Baba, you have explained how the mind is formed and about Jadaspota without waiting for them to discover it. The scientists on their own would never have been able to discover some of the things that you have revealed. So kindly tell us about that primordial state of matter where creation first descended from the psychic level to the physical plane. Baba smiled at his logic and said, all right, I will talk about it sometime in future. In a nutshell, I will say that since creation is a continuous flow, there is no clear distinction between the final phase of one state and the beginning phase of the next state. So the crudest stage of psychic level of the cosmic mind, which is also the crudest part of Bhuvarloka, and the subtlest stage of the physical realm, which is the ethereal world, are indistinguishable. That stage is very subtle, and to comprehend it fully would require a highly evolved and conceptually developed mind or the aid of very advanced scientific equipment. So more than 2 decades later, on 31st December 1986, Baba delivered the groundbreaking Renassa Universal Discourse, MICROVITA, the mysterious emanation of cosmic factor. So during a DMC program in Calcutta. So the concept of MICROVITA is epochal idea that will one day revolutionize our understanding of all branches of science. So that was a long ago, but Baba used to give everything systematically, stage by stage. So it took him more than 2 decades to prepare us for the receiving the subtle theory of MICROVITA. So I was telling division of the philosophy, MICROVITA in philosophy. You know, philosophy is not a speculation in India, in Indian philosophy. That's not just a speculation or fantasy, thought of fantasy. The existence has been experienced. Existence at macro level has been experienced, and human intellect likes to understand it. So, in an effort to understand existence intellectually, there has to be two approaches. One, a synthetic approach, subtle to crude, a philosophical approach. Another is an analytical approach, the scientific approach. So both trying to understand the existence, which is a fact and which is a truth from two approaches. So in the philosophical approach, we know in Ananda Marga, which is as a Darshan Shastra, it has been mentioned in Ananda Sutra, the two approaches were already said. The Sanchara Pratisanchara, using Vedic terms in continuation of the Vedantic philosophy, and the Tantric theory, which is an experiential one. And lastly, in the year 1989, it concluded whatever he had to say on microvita in the form of cosmology and microvita, a scientific presentation. So, philosophy to explain all phenomena from Sankhya and later on Vaisheshika and all they try to explain the phenomena. So, but there is microvita is also one phenomenon never mentioned in any philosophy, even in Ananda philosophy. A mysterious emanation of cosmic factor. So it is a cosmic phenomenon, but not mentioned even in Ananda philosophy, either in the Sanchar Pratisanchar flow or in Tantric theory. That's why to shed light on this phenomenon, that is called mysterious phenomenon, Baba had to take a special class in the 1989 among some senior acharyas. Then it was said cosmology and microvita. That is how philosophy, that is a figure I have illustrated. Figure page number 9, Antaranga, that picture.
Right.
Microvita is the link between philosophy and science.
That's page number 9. 1 minute.
Page number 9.
1 minute, Dada. Page number 9. How the first page number 9?
Link between philosophy and science.
Link between philosophy and science.
Yeah, figure.
Figure number 9, right?
Okay.
1 minute. Seven. Is it in summarizing or in the beginning?
In the beginning. Microvita is the link between.
Okay, 1 minute. Is it this one?
After some concept or force.
1 minute. Just see. Is it this one, Dada?
Yeah. Next.
1 minute. Next. This
Microvita is the link between philosophy and science. You know, there are three stratum: physical stratum, psychic stratum, and the spiritual stratum. So philosophy and science both deal in the psychic stratum, the intellectual realm. So from subtle to the crude, philosophical approach, from crude to the subtle. Now, so far, the philosophical aspect, Srashti Chakra, creation of the creation, that was explained philosophically. Philosophy is to explain why, and science to explain how. So how from the spiritual to the physical, that philosophy could explain in its own way, but it could not explain how it is happening. Whereas the science, which is basically focusing on how things are happening, but it could not answer why. So philosophy and science both could not connect each other. That was a gap. There remained a gap. Philosophy coming down into the material level, they could not explain how things are happening. And science going up to the subtlety could not go beyond the subtlest of the physical, could not enter into metaphysics. So there remained a gap. So philosophy and the theory of microatom, which is a cosmic phenomenon, explain cosmology philosophically, and is a part of philosophy. And being a science, for the scientific community also, who trying to go deep into matter, trying to understand in depth, then at certain stage, they lose that physicality of the matter and bound to enter into metaphysics. So this microvital science is the phenomenon which connects philosophy as well as the science. So that is because of that, now science can go into metaphysics and metaphysics can come into physics. Now here I try to explain the figure that is the atom, the 9th figure. Figure number 9, understanding the atom. Figure number 13, page number 13. Next. Yeah. Now, let us imagine what is the objective of physics. Physics is a science to study matter. Matter and energy is the subject of physics. Now, of that matter, the subtlest particle is identified as an atom. And this atom is said to be not only the subtlest part, it is unbreakable. But that was at the time of Dalton. Later on, making further investigation, further study, they came to know more and more about this atom, this atomic physics. Now I visualize this atom as a conical well. A conical well. You go in figure 1, atom, go down, you find its nucleus made up of proton and neutron and electron moving around. Then you further analysis, further investigation, further going down into that well, they see these proton and neutron are bound by another bonding particle, that is, they say boson, also called God particle. Then you come down, more subtlety, they find there is no more particle. Particle nature of matter is gone. They see quarks, energy, a bundle of energy, quarks. Then further they go down into that, then further at lower level, they say even that quark, they say energy jumping or on the string, so-called a string theory. Like that, the atomic scientists, as they go into this well of atom, down and down, finally they see there is only energy. Now that is the present energy and also information. And this is known as the quantum physics. Quantum is the utterly small, utterly micro. So physics at micro level, physics at macro level, physics at micro level. Physics at micro level is not quantum physics. So it is this quantum physics, advances made in this quantum physics. Because of that, the knowledge gained from that, we could get television, we could get computer, we could get all the information technology based on the knowledge of quantum physics. Now, they are going on further. Here, let me say what the quantum physics have said. Quantum physics says that as you go deeper and deeper into the workings of the atom, you see that there is nothing there, just energy waves. It says an atom is actually an invisible force field, a kind of miniature tornado, which emits waves of electrical energy. And some scientists also say everything we call real is made of things that cannot be regarded as real. You know, we had earlier said that that which is perceptible through senses is real, and that is not perceptible, conceptual is abstract, and beyond is that mysterious. Anyway, the scientist Niels Bohr, a physicist, he says everything we call real is made of things that cannot be regarded as real. So as you go down into matter, so that then there is nothing concrete real. So there another scientist, his name is matter and energy are two sides of the same coin. They are not two distinct entities at the subtlest level, opines a great physicist, Hans Peter Dürr, Emeritus President of the Max Planck Institute of Munich, who succeeded Albert Einstein and Werner Heisenberg. Trying to look at matter at its subtlest level for the last 55 years, Hans Peter recently realized that there is no matter distinct from energy at that level. That vast, omnipotent energy is a universal consciousness or God. And we humans are but a tiny bit of that consciousness, the individual consciousness. So explaining it, he said, whenever I give a lecture on quantum physics, I feel as if I'm talking on Vedanta. I studied matter for the last 35 years, only to find out that it does not exist. I have been studying something that does not exist. Exactly what Adi Shankara said long back from the Upanishad, all that you see doesn't exist. So what I mean, there is more interesting things as the scientists study more and more at quantum level. They say spiritual universe. They also say we are energy and energy never dies, just changes form. Higgs boson, God particle. So there are various, as they make further studies on this quantum physics, they go deeper and deeper. Physics lost its identity as physics and goes into metaphysics. And there lies the necessity of a philosophical approach of Ananda Marga, which has identified the all phenomena of this cosmos and come to one hitherto unidentified, unexplained realm, that is the mystic realm. Now in figure number 10, Brahma, Savishesha, Taraka, and Nirvishesha. Next, yeah. Here, the existence, eternal, infinite, conscious, blissful, it is called Brahma, having two ranks, expressed, having characteristics called Savishesha, and unexpressed, without distinction, without this characteristic, Nirvishesha, and in between is the realm of Taraka. You know, so we used to know Saguna Brahma, Nirguna Brahma, and between the tangent is a Taraka Brahma. But in cosmology of MICROVITA, we say that is Savishesha and Nirvishesha, in between is the realm of dividing line, realm of Taraka. Here, what is said, the realm number 1, yeah. So in the last, in the first discourse on MICROVITA, mysterious emanation, it was said that existence perceptible through senses is real, and which is not perceptible or conceptible is the abstract, and beyond that abstract, but can be perceived through special perception is the mysterious realm, and beyond that is the spiritual. So I have given real, matter is real because perceptible, material realm, and the second is ectoplasmic realm, abstract, mental stuff. Then third is the, what you should say, mysterious. Here I have given the figure, you know, 3 is in between 1 and 2. And 3 is between 2 and 4 also. So there you can understand the realm of microvita, which is a mysterious, it is after ectoplasm and preceding pre-matter. After ectoplasm, other side, but preceding the idea. So, as if my front side is ectoplasmic, abstract, and my one side is matter, other side, and other side is the, what should I say, the idea, or going to be spiritual. So, in between the idea and matter is the microvita mysterious realm. And this realm, and front of this realm is the abstract. So, that microvita realm is much wider in scope than even the chitta part. Anyway, so matter is real, ectoplasm abstract, microvita mysterious, and next is idea. We know what is idea? Idea and ideology. Idea in Sanskrit word is bhava. The highest of the psychic part is idea. Beyond that is consciousness. Consciousness. So consciousness touching, psychic part touching consciousness is idea, psycho-spiritual parallelism. Other side is spiritual, this side is psychic, a parallelism. So the line that lies parallel to the consciousness is idea. And microvita is just below the idea line. So if that microvita is consciousness spiritual, this side is microvita. So microvita is lower, below the idea, but above the chitta part. Above the chitta part. In that way, we must know then everything. And last class also it was said in tantric theory, Shiva becomes Bhairava, Bhairava becomes Bhava. Shiva Shakti is Shivani, Shivani becomes Bhairavi, and Bhairavi becomes Bhavani. So in the three stratum, here the cognition, cognitive stuff, consciousness transformed into mental stuff, transformed into matter. So matter, from consciousness to matter, it is a continuous stuff. Only because of our perception, conceptual limitation, we have identified these three stratum. So we must know now idea, cognition converted into idea, idea converted into microvita, microvita converted into matter. So cognitive stuff to matter is, there are two ranks, idea and the microvita. So if you want to reform matter into microvita, Baba says powder down matter, you get microvita. Powder down matter, you get idea. Powder down idea, you get cognition. So how to powder down? That is the tantric process given by Shiva, and also developed and included in Ananda also. How the physical will be converted into psychic, and psychic into idea, and idea into the cognition. So that is just to give an understanding, the realm of microvita is below the idea and above the chitta. And same realm of microvita which runs behind ectoplasmic stuff. The other side is, that is a silver line between matter and ectoplasm. So one side of microvita realm is a silver line between matter and ectoplasm. The other side of realm of this microvita is between the ectoplasm and the idea. So in that way, just we must know, we have now understood what is microvita philosophically. And now I was telling about that scientific, before I can explain quantum physics and connect it to microvita, we must know some knowledge of the spiritual philosophy of Ananda Marga. So that for that the figure is given. Figure is given, figure number, page number 12, cosmology and microvita. Yeah. You know, there is infinite consciousness. Shiva says, Vastu Satyam, Satya Vastu, Sad Vastu, cognitive stuff, without any projection, without any differentiation. A cognitive stuff with your cognitive power to express, to project. So that was the Nirguna state, that was the Nirvishesha state. Then a cognitive desire comes in it. You know, we know the desire mental, psychic. We have so many desires, that's all mental. But here is the desire is no psych, mind is not at all formed, no creation. But there was a desire. From our own understanding, we have to understand it. Yes, there was a desire in that cognitive stuff, having the power to project itself. So out of that, because of that cognitive condition, desire, it wanted to express itself. The moment that desire came, the cognitive power of that cognitive stuff is Purusha or Shiva, cognitive power is Shakti or Prakriti. So that gave a projection. That projection is linear, just like think of a ocean, endless ocean, tranquil ocean, and that ocean, one surfacing sheet has been come up. No end this side, no end that side, but a linear surface over that cosmic consciousness. So that is the first projection. And this projection is known as I. Every one of us have an I. We know I, though we do not know it is an abstract, but we know that we have I. I am existing. That existential feeling on that cosmic consciousness, which had no such I feeling, then emerged as surface, a linear surface on that endless ocean, on that consciousness came that I, cosmic I. Okay, this cosmic I has two faculties: faculty to know. So it has a know. That's why it is known as knower I, knowing I, knower I. And it also has a faculty to do. So a doer I, doing I, because the cognition before creation, it knowledge itself, and it has the power to do anything. So it has a power to do, it has the knowledge itself. So its first projection, cosmic I, also two faculty, the knowing faculty, knowing power, knower I, and the doer I. So knower I first, then doer I. So on that linear, when the cosmic Prakriti gave a push from behind, that linear surface got projected. Just like if you put air in the balloon, it projects. Similarly, it got a kick from behind. That linear stuff, that linear I, that existential I got vibrated. And continuous, because of the kicks, a continuous vibration, and that vibration created waves. These waves, out of what? These waves of I only. So when this I is vibrated, action started, vibration, action are same thing. So it is the doing started. Action means doing. So that becomes the doer I. The doer I started doing when it vibrated. As a result of that vibration, waves created. Just on the ocean, if you give put a force, waves created and they pass on. Similarly, the waves are also the same ocean, the water of that ocean in wave form. Here also, that waves from the doer I emanating is a I only in wave form. So far it was a linear, now it becomes a curvy linear. The waves are curvy linear I, that is the done I. So from the doer I became the doing I, because of that action done, the done I. Example, I eat a mango, okay? Eating mango is the present tense and action. When action is over, where goes the mango? Yeah, that goes in my mind. I remember as memory. So memory is my own part in that form into my subjective I. Similarly, and that I vibrated, that becomes the done I, the ectoplasmic stuff, the sanskaras you call, the waves, curvy linears. From the linear become linear I, curvy linear I, and we have so many of wavelength, it went on like that. That is the done I. So I-less I, cosmic I consciousness, first projection is linear I, existential I, cosmic. Then It having two faculty, knowing faculty, doing faculty, doer I, and action done I. So as a part of this done I say the cosmos, the first projection, cosmos coming into first part of the cosmos. So it is ectoplasmic. Then as pressure goes on that that waves become compressed and compressed. At certain state, it is no more ectoplasmic. It starts the first stage of elemental, rudimental matter at the rudimental state. Ethereal like that, one by one. Battery is low. Battery low. Just excuse me, just for a break. Correction किया Okay, sorry for some break.
Dada, don't put on the two audios. एक को बंद कर दीजिए, एक को बंद कीजिए, दो ऑडियो चालू हो गया. हाँ, ठीक है, अब हो गया. Done.
So, what happened? The first phase of the formation of this cosmos, we call centrifugal activity, extroversion from subtle to the crude, and element rudiment matter from ethereal to down as the waves get compressed. Done I is nothing but waveform, and of different as it compressed becomes so much compressed. Finally, no more compression start possible. At that stage, it got exploded into that which is called Jadaspota. So in the first part of cosmos, part 1, formation of ectoplasmic stuff, formation of ectoplasmic realm, then done I in the 5 rudimental factors from ethereal to solid factor, then the explosion of that compressed state, blown out, and that becomes the turning point. At this turning point, whatever that was there, done I in different form, got disintegrated, dispersed. So there is solid factor, liquid factor, igneous factor, all those factors are there, plus ectoplasm of the disintegration. At this stage, from the doer I at cosmic level, some constructive task force is sent out to build the disintegrated matter into that done I to be made into doer I. So the turning point, Jadaspota, is the turning point wherein microvita of our class, microvita of this phenomenon are emanated from the doer I. So knower I is there, no role, he only knows it, but the doer I is first part is done I, creation of the done I, ectoplasmic and rudimental factor. And second part is the done I is to be made, is to be undone. Done I is to be undone. Undone means it will become doer I. So next phase of cosmology, next phase of creation is the turning from crude to the subtle, from many to one. So this is called Pratisanchara, and here microvita entry in the cosmology. From where? From the doer I, part of the doer I, the seeds of creation, the blocks of creation. They are the creating blocks. So their role is assembling the inferences, assembling the done I in the form of rudimental factors, elements, matter, and ectoplasmic stuff. They assemble, they have not only energy, they have also they move, they create their own waves. So that information, with that knowledge sent by the doer I, directed by the doer eye, they start assembling the disintegrated stuff. And that is how becomes the formation of slowly atom. Atom to molecule, then in that way, in the last class I had explained how you goes on. And only to bring it, the done eye to be undone, to become doer eye and return to the original state. So in cosmology and physics, the chart shown, what is that? Atom, picture of the atom. Microvita, according to quantum physics, there is only energy, some information. But they do not know, our philosophy says that matter and energy are totally different. Matter is the done eye, a curved form of eye, and with the inferences, with energy. So after Jadaspota, while assembling, the microvita assemble the energies, the done eye portion and inferences, and put themselves into it. And that is why atom comes into being. So in the quantum physics, I could see the energy part, could see the waves, could see some information, but they are not able to understand this, where from this information coming, where is the done eye. So they have not yet identified this done eye that becomes metaphysical, that goes before physical. That's why physics has a limitation. Either they have to go beyond physics, metaphysics, then only they will be able to understand, identify the cosmic phenomena. So what I am telling you, cosmology and microvita. Microvita role in the returning phase, microvita role in building the atoms, molecules, carbon atoms, and protoplasmic cells, human beings, evolution, everything, till the doer eye. When the done eye is become doer eye, the role of microvita is over. Okay. Then next phase will be by the knower eye. So about this figure is explained. Now coming back to figure number 8. Figure number 8. Knowledge and its source. Knowledge and its source. First figure, yeah. You know what is knowledge? Knowledge is subjectivizing the objectivity. I see a man outside, and when it makes a picture on my chitta, and I am identified, my own stuff takes that shape and I become that. So subjectivizing the object is the knowledge. So here, because philosophy, we must know what is valid knowledge. So there are two realms, physical realm and the spiritual realm. Outside is the physical realm. Behind us, behind our mental stuff, behind our mental body is the spiritual realm. So we try to know from physical realm, physical reality, physical universe, whatever it is there, through senses, and intellect tries to understand it. That knowledge coming through the organs and through intellect processing it, understanding it, is the intellectual knowledge. And there is another knowledge coming from the spiritual into the mind. There is our intuitional faculty. So we have two faculties to know, to get knowledge. Intellectual faculty, intuitional faculty. Intellectual faculty we all know quite well, but intuitional faculty, because it is not so much developed, intuitional sometimes we know, but we fail to explain how we could know. So, but there is a faculty. So knowledge coming through intuition from backside is the intuitional knowledge, and coming through the front gate to analyze and processed by intellect is the intuition. So microvitum, the mysterious realm, which is beyond the intellectual capacity. It is intellectual faculty cannot analyze it, cannot know it. But how we can know intuition, mysterious realm? It is known by the intuitional faculty. So Baba, with his intuitional faculty, he could see the mysterious realm, disembodied soul, their voice, their scenes, everything that is a reality. He is seeing it, he is hearing it, he is feeling it by his intuitional faculty. But that is beyond our intellectual faculty. So our intuitional faculty not being evolved, developed, we are unable to know much about this mysterious realm. That's why the figure number 1, I had explained that real, abstract, mysterious, and beyond is the spiritual. So microvitum is a reality, is a perceived by the special perception of.
Which figure, Dada?
Yeah, that is not necessary. That is by our mysterious realm, that is microvitum, are perceived by the intuitional faculty, not by the intellectual faculty, by the intuitional faculty. Because they are reflected on it. They cannot go to the spiritual. They are lying front of the that I-ness, I feeling, existential I. So that is how we have explained this thing. And coming to fifth figure,
yeah. I'm not able to see the numbers here, so you need to tell me the topic.
Okay, this figure is okay, right? So here there is a realm of physicality, because the word is spirituality, intellectuality, physicality. When the subject is spirituality, so we must know other things, that intellectuality, physicality. So physicality, we have as if a physical self to handle the physical aspect of life. We have an intellectual self to handle the abstract part, mental part within, to handle it, intellectuality. And there is an intuitional self with an intuitional faculty to handle that which is beyond the intellect. And finally, the spiritual self, consciousness, unit consciousness. So we, as an individual being, as a microcosm, we have to handle the physicality, a physical self with physical faculty, with physical power. To handle the abstract realm, we have the intellectuality, we have intellectual power, that is the intellectual self. Behind it, we have intuitional self with intuitional faculty to handle the realm beyond the intellectuality, beyond the abstract. That is the thing. And finally, we have the consciousness, unit consciousness. This is spiritual, with the spiritual self. So it is as if our spiritual self is holding intuitional self, intellectual self, and the physical self. But as if we are only with physicality, we are no more than animal. Beside that physicality, if you are handling intellectuality to logic, reason, we are human. But to go beyond and to establish in consciousness, we have to cross that third realm, the mysterious realm, then only spiritual. So physical, physico-psychic, psychophysical, psychic is intellectual, psycho-spiritual, and then the spiritual. So when I say spirituality, it begins with that part of mind touching the spiritual, psycho-spiritual. Then leading into the spiritual, the spirituality. So spirituality has two parts, psycho-spiritual and spiritual. And before it, that is intellectuality. And further onward, that is physicality. So physicality, intellectuality, and spirituality. So spirituality has two parts, psycho-spiritual and spiritual. So this picture has been given. We must understand ourselves, know thyself. Know who are you. Yeah, you are physical, you are psychic, you are psycho-spiritual, and also spiritual. So sadhana, we will see later how to, from physical animality to humanity, humanity to divinity, is that march, sadhana part. This is just to explain the our existential status and thing. So we come to that much about the. Now I think I have made clear that quantum physics, which has made a lot of progress, and because of the knowledge gained from quantum physics, has given us, provided us information technology. We could develop information technology based on which all this mobile works, computer work, all things are going on because of knowledge of advances made in quantum physics. But that quantum physics is also not complete, and because it has still does not know what is the Dani in the atom, what is the microvita in the atom. So when they come to know the microvita and its role in building atom, where is this microvita, as said by Baba, that the building blocks, building block, one block, one building is, structure is atom. So atom is a structure. Cosmos, universe is a structure. All structures are organized and made out of that raw material from the coming the part one of the cosmos, built. And that's why I say whole universe start from the turning point after Jadaspota, which they may call Big Bang. So universe comes into being after this in Pratisancharadhara, after Big Bang, from a speck, as if nothing, from nothing such a huge universe came. That is another mystery. How they can explain seemingly from nothing, such a big universe of so much mass came. That is without the Anandmar's support of Anandmar's philosophy, the scientist cannot get insight into. Anyway, so in quantum physics, with the knowledge of microvita, it will grow, develop tremendously. Even now also, recently I was seeing that photon, if broken into pieces, then even though it goes billions of years, light years far away, still there is a connectivity. That is showing the everything, everybody is connected. In fact, what I speak, that whole universe everywhere, it is also affected. In that way, quantum physics is illustrating everyone is interconnected. There is no break, everything interconnected. So with the knowledge of microvita, this quantum physics can make tremendous advances, which is the task of future scientists that Baba left. So in that philosophy, I've explained microvita in science. The object of in the last class I had explained how universe came into being, how atom came into being, how life came into being, how evolution of life, all the things, what is the disease, all these things were explained in my last class as microvita in science. I don't have to repeat it. Now I come to next part of the presentation. Yeah, one question in science. Atom bombs will become powerless. Regarding the science only. In those days, before Anandmar was established, before 1955, Baba's discussions with his colleagues. In that discussion, so Baba said to those his colleagues, however, that humanity had nothing to fear because the fear of atom bombs of Nagasaki, Hiroshima bombardment, fear gripped the whole universe, whole world. So we are not safe, humanity can perish at any moment. And to that question, Baba said, however, that humanity had nothing to fear as the human mind was versatile and would also invent ways to neutralize these weapons. On later 22nd December 78, when the nuclear arms race between Warsaw Pact and NATO power blocs sparked a serious debate about the future of the world. Prabhat Ranjan discussed this issue with his disciple in great depth. The power of the human intellect is far superior to that of an atom bomb. So to imagine that atom bombs will destroy the human race is to insult human intelligence, to belittle human psychic power. Human beings have made the atomic bomb. They are its creator. So how can an atomic bomb destroy humanity? In the future, they will invent other weapons that will counteract the destructive power of atomic bombs and neutralize them. An atom bomb has no intelligence. In the future, human beings will produce equipment, devices, and weapons that will have inbuilt intelligence. Now we know. But even then, the intelligence of these devices and weapons will be less than the human intelligence that created them. So there is no reason for human beings to cry out in fear, oh, what will happen if there is an atomic war, which is a threat presently. So in another discourse, he observed, in future, the mind which has invented nuclear weapons will invent still more powerful ones. Then the people of that time will pass comments about the atomic weapons of today, saying such things as our forefathers were very brave and innovative people, but they played with firecrackers. When I so-called coming days after research on microvita, coming days, when the technology goes so advanced, those people seeing our generation, they will say our forefathers, they were brave, innovative people, but they played with firecrackers. The atom bomb, nuclear bombs, they are firecrackers to the coming days of generation, because thanks to the microwave. In one situation, there was an RDS, 1988. Okay, Dada Raghunathji was sent to China. Red China, government of Red China had organized a conference for global economic development and the connected issue. Here they had invited our Baba, Sri Prabhatanand Sarkar, to make a presentation. Baba sent Raghunathji as his representative, and he was in China speaking. The RDS was going on 88. There was one Margi from Himachal Pradesh, S.R. Patik, scientist, agriculture scientist, and Samaj Secretary of Pahadi Samaj, very devoted intellectual. He was there in the RDS. He said two things. About Baba said, this tomato, with the help of microvita science, with the help of this, we can make the genetic changes, and that tomato will have the taste of mango, taste of guava, taste of apple. So that is possible through this application of microvita. Now they are doing genetic engineering. I asked that Margi, what is the difference between genetic engineering, changing genetical changes done in the laboratory, and microvita, genetic change by microvita? He said, Dada, these genetic changes they take, in apple they can bring another variety in that, tomato another variety. But they require the gene and they make engineering it to have a variant, a variety. But with microvita, we create a new gene. And we don't need its physical part. We attend its mind to mind. Microvita given to the mind. Through mind, change will come genetically. So that is also for the research work. And Raghunathji had gone, and Baba asked one Avadhuta sit and see what is Raghunath doing. Baba is on his cot with a headache, with hands like this. Tomorrow I have the program, what I have to speak. He was tension, distress, and also headache. Baba knew. Baba said, now I am sending positive microvita. Then see what is happening. After some time, he removed the hand and he was composed, and program next day he gave a live delivery lecture. So that was demonstration. Through microvita, person remaining distant, you can give him relief, give him ideas, all the things. And on the same ideas about atom bombs, Baba says that Avadhuta, now you go to some part in Russia, Soviet Union that time, and see the storehouse of atom bombs, the nuclear weapons. Then say, Baba, there is a big store, so many weapons. Baba said, if I send positive microvita, all those bombs will be neutralized. Bombs will be neutralized. So when they fall just like a rock, a stone. So what microvita science can do, that's why we don't have to be afraid of these atomic bombs, because the intellect, mind which created, can create super bombs, can neutralize those bombs. But that is yet to be done. Nobody knows that technique. That is the work of research, microvita research, how the Swajvipras can dominate society, people having such weapons in their hand, terrific weapons, how they can guide and control them. They will be having advanced technology. So that is the regarding what microvita and science, genetically and creating super bombs, weapons, and so on. And that much about the microvita and science. Then we come to the spiritual side. Yeah, there was a talk regarding China, not the figure. I'm just giving an episode. So that was Baba sat on the tiger grave and started talking about Chinese occupation of Tibet. Probably it is 1953, February 1953. On the with Margis in the tiger grave, because Margis who are that they know. So Baba was talking about the Chinese occupation of Tibet and its repercussion for Tibetan civilization, which he said was very ancient and was heavily influenced by Tantra. He averred that the Chinese communists would try to destroy every trace of the spiritual civilization of Tibet and impose their materialistic culture upon the Tibetans. That was going on. He opined that ultimately communism would disappear from China and that Tibet would be a free country. He added that China too has a deep-rooted association with Tantra. The Taoism of China had originated from Tantra. So it is a cosmic decree that after the end of communist rule in China, spirituality will once again take root and flourish in the previously communist countries. So that's a good news for Chinese people also. What I mean, that's one thing. So about the microvita in philosophy, to some extent I've explained. Main part is physics and metaphysics. Microvita will connect physics to metaphysics and bring down metaphysics into physics. That is the connecting link, and research work is required, and quantum physics at that level with microvita, then we will make tremendous advances. We can not think such fast changes will be coming. So next we come to the spirituality. It is also an interesting subject because we are all practicing spirituality, spiritual practitioners. So how microvita is connected to it and what help we can take from microvita. Time is short anyway. We come to spiritual pursuit. Spiritual pursuit. Spiritual attainment. We come to figure E of the spiritual attainment, part E. Part E. Now, spirituality.
Part E. Part E.
Part E. Spiritual attainment.
Yeah, this is okay.
Yeah. Now, we are clear, religion is different and spirituality is different. Spirituality is a cult, is a practice. Religion is a faith, a belief. We are not to compare here, so we are clear about the spiritual attainments. Here in spiritual attainments, psycho-spiritual, intellect, physical attainments, intellectual attainments, now spiritual attainments. So when we go into towards spirituality, there is a mysterious realm of microvita, and there is idea, then only beyond it is a spiritual. To establish ourselves in that spirituality, the spiritual realm, beyond even idea, bhavatita, so spiritual practices are there. But on the way, there are some phenomena we come across. So one phenomenon is, it is said here, the luminous bodies. Another phenomenon is deities, Durga, Kali, they are doing worshiping. Another phenomenon is Yakshini and what should I say, Yogini, etc. Here the deities mentioned are all tantric deities, not Jagatic, mundane, created out of fear. We are not talking of those deities, not Puranic, mythological deities, fiction, we are not speaking of that, not Vedic deities, natural force deities, we are not speaking of that. So out of the 4 categories of deities, we are speaking only about the tantric deities. Because Tantra is a cult, is a practice to attain something higher. So while trying to attain higher, the highest of the spiritual, on the way, so many things are there. So we should be clear when we are trying for the spiritual attainment, what are on the way. So one thing is Yogini Tantra. Because people who are interested in Tantra, they go for Yogini Siddhis. Attainment means Siddhi. So there are 64 yoginis in Tantra, Jaina, Bauddha, and Shaiva. I mentioned in that class on Tantra. So they are not the spiritual entity. They are the 64 expression. There are 64 in number. There are 64 expression, possible expression of human mind. To unfold the mind, to express in all possible things. So Tantra was designed to unfold that potentiality, mental potentiality, expression. So they found out there are 64 such expressions, and a Tantra devoted to develop that expression is called Yogini. The presiding deity, the force power that is responsible behind that expression is a Yogini. There are 64 expression, 64 Yogini. So these are psychic expression. So they are not spiritual. So we have nothing to do with the Yogini Tantra. People are after it, nothing. Then there are Yakshini. So Baba mentioned in his Shabda Chayanika, Yakshini is not luminous body. They are not yoginis, expressions of mind. There are some shadowy figures, some shadowy powers, which if practice and got attempt and siddhi, you can take work from them, pious work, not harmful. That is also not spiritual practice. That is also not spiritual goal. They are on the way. So we are not for it. Then comes the deities, Kali, Durga, and so much prevalent in Hindu society. In China also, Tara. So various tantric deities, we worship, we adore, we practice as if it is a spiritual practice for spiritual attainment. So these deities are ideas. They are not the spiritual Parama Purusha. They are not the Parama Prakriti. Some idea of that, and we worship that idea. And to get that idea, ideation, a Tantra is developed. So by Durga Tantra, Durga Devi, you get an idea, you become that much expression. Some faculties develop. Baba says some purity of mind is required. There are higher type of sadhana. The purity of mind, more purity of mind is required. So you get powers and but they are not spiritual. They are also what should I say? The ideation, idea, not spiritual. Beyond idea is the bhavatika. Beyond idea is the consciousness. So to be established in consciousness is spiritual, true spirituality, perfect spirituality. That is the aim of Ananda Marga. But less than that, which happens to be in the idea level of the mind, attaining, going that idea, you may have some powers, but still it is not spiritual. So Kali worship, Durga worship, also Devis, they are not spiritual attainment, which is desired by Anand Marg, which is a desirable thing. So we discard that also. We are not condemning Kali Puja, this and that, because the idea of Kali holding 50 letters, skull, that is to give an idea, Bhadra Kali, idea is given, that cognitive power, creative power, having 50 letters, 50 expression, that idea has been created. And you worship through that idea, through the sadhana. So, but it is not spiritual. It is not Paramapurusha. It is the creative power of Paramapurusha. That is also not totally true. That's why when Ramakrishna Paramahamsa, great sadhaka of Kali, well known in Bengal, well respected. So he also didn't have that ultimate realization for which Totapuri, a great yogi, had to come to initiate it and lead him to beyond. So what I mean, Anand Marg is not seeking, is from the point of Anand Marg, the highest spiritual attainment is the Paramapurusha himself, beyond all ideas. And for that, what should I say? There is a cult. So what is cult? That where the Paramapurusha is the goal, that path that leads to that, that is the cult. In West, cult is a bad name. They don't want to take Tantra is a cult. They say, avoid that Tantra, yoga. No, Tantra is a cult, not in the Western sense misconceived, but in the spiritual lineage of India. Tantra is a practical technology, spiritual technology. So that cult, goal is Paramapurusha. So Anand Marga is a cult. Anand Marga has a philosophy of that cult. Anand Marga is a practice of that cult. Anand Marga is a society based on that. So cult. Then what is occult? When you move on this cult, when you move towards Paramapurusha, what you acquire by dint of your sadhana is called occult. And Baba mentioned, or scriptures mention, 8 types of occult powers. So I don't go into detail. That in the notes you can see Anima, Lagima, Mahima. So it used in the Baba says, yeah, you should not be after this attainment, occult power, but these occult powers come naturally when one is moving towards Paramapurusha. So they will come to help you. Then we come to another called luminous bodies. Luminous bodies. So luminous bodies. You are moving from psychic to the spiritual, on the way psycho-spiritual realm, on the way mystic realm, on the way microvita realm. So there you say luminous bodies. So what is this luminous body? The concept will be clear. Because there are 3 things: luminous body, ghost, and projected, hallucination. So 3 things, because when the Baba's discourse and ghost and spirit, are there ghosts? Are there such evil spirits? And luminous body, what's the difference between luminous body and ghost? Are the luminous bodies ghosts? Baba says, luminous bodies, they are the Devayoni. They were the spiritual practitioners aiming to attain Paramapurusha. But on the way, you can see that figure where the luminous body, Preta Yoni, Deva Yoni. Okay. So on the way, so luminous bodies. So they got diverted. Suppose the destination, I am taking a train from Howrah, Calcutta to Delhi. So I don't get, there are so many stations on the way, but I don't get down. I go straight to Delhi and I go out. I reach my destination. But if on the way, if I get down, say at Allahabad or Kanpur, and then train gone, left, so I am left out. Similarly, the sadhakas, Brahma sadhakas, who was doing sincere sadhana to attain to born with Parampurusha. On the way, they got diverted by some temptation. The temptation may be of knowledge, the temptation may be of music, the temptation may be of money, the temptation may be of powers. Like that, there are 7 types of the temptation, and they got diverted, and their journey stopped. And such sadhaka who are diverted because of some weakness, they go to a separate realm called Deva Yoni. They are called Deva, divine, because they are higher to human beings. They were sadhakas, had a greed for money. So with so much money, I can do so much work. So that money engaged him, he got diverted. So if I get so much power, I can do so much services. So that power becomes the dominant point of attention. He got diverted. He became Yaksha, Vidyadhara. Like that, 7 such Deva Yonis were described by Rishis in the ancient time during their meditation. They saw their luminous bodies. And Baba says their body of 3 rudimental factors: ethereal, gaseous, and igneous, luminous, but no liquid and solid. So their body is not protoplasmic because there is no atom in it. So they can't, that's not solidified. They can't take food. They can't drink water, but they are there. So they are called positive microvita. Actually, they are not the microvita. They are the disembodied souls. Those sadhakas got diverted for weaknesses. They become, after their death, they didn't go to protoplasmic life. They got 3 rudimental factor body, and whatever happens, Guru knows, and they know. I do not know. That is a mysterious realm. They are, but sometimes they appear in luminous body. Okay. Then there are people with the demerits. The demerits, they are called, after their death, they go to Preta Yoni. There is a figure also I had given.
Slide 84.
Spiritual attainment, go ahead, please. Change the slide, please.
Yes, Dada. Please tell.
There is Deva Yoni, Preta Yoni.
Yeah, that is there. It is in previous slide, previous part.
Achha,
Part
okay.
2, I think.
No, part 3,
Can you
micro
tell me?
luminous bodies are there. Okay. Anyway,
Yeah,
does
yeah.
not
This
that.
Sadhguru and Madhu. No.
That micro sadhana last time, not this one. Don't go that. Anyway,
Yeah, it
not
is in the last.
doesn't matter. So Preta Yoni, they are people with demerits. So then after the death, it is said they go to the Preta Loka. I do not come.
It is here. Dada, can you see this?
No, this is not. Yeah, there is a
Dev
figure.
Yonis and Pret Yoni.
Yeah, positive microvita. Further, next. Yeah.
It is the name. Yaksh, Gandhara, Kinnara, Vidyadhara.
That is Deva Yoni. Next.
Yeah. Durmukh,
Okay.
Kabanda, Madhya Kapal. This one?
So
Okay.
like that, any figure you see next. Next. Yeah, here. You see, these luminous bodies, they influence us, we human beings. So an invisible realm, mysterious realm, as I already told, behind our psychic part. So many invisible beings, we don't see them. During demonstration year, 1968, I told you earlier also, Baba was doing demonstration, so many things, different samadhis. And that day, morning, he demonstrated Savikalpa Samadhi after explaining it. Then he was to go for field work, and I was graced to get the occasion to be with him in that field work with his car, with him. And after we went by a car, and after he got down for a walk, then Baba asked me, what was that samadhi? It was Savikalpa. Yes. At that stage, his unconscious mind was one with the unconscious mind of the cosmic. So he was all-knowing. But as his Kundalini, he did not raise by his own will. So after coming down, he knew nothing of it. Though he, at that stage, he was all-knowing. But when he came down, he knew nothing of it. Had he done, he elevated his sadhana by his own effort. After reaching there, he could come down and give expression to his all-knowing. Then Baba said that 32 types of samadhis. I have demonstrated 27 demonstrations. Guru Dattatreya demonstrated 24. I have demonstrated 27. Some samadhi I did not demonstrate because there are so many invisible beings. If you see them, you will get horrified. Not only that, even by remembering, you will be horrified. You have to do night sadhana in burial ground. And by remembering that again, that's why I have not demonstrated. What I mean, there are so many invisible beings, not in our perception, not in our conception. We can't imagine also, but they are there. So, Devayoni positive influence, Preta Yoni with negative influence. So, Preta Yonis are people with demerit. After death, they went to the Preta Loka. And though with merit, Sadhaka, Devaloka, Devayoni. So, all are influencing in the same cosmos. We are exposed to not only oxygen, nitrogen, and poisonous gas. We are also not only exposed to social influences, psychic influence, we are also exposed to so many invisible beings of Preta or Deva, and they put their own influence on us. So according to they incite, promote that one who did suicide, that is not a natural death, not the God's wish, so he goes into prison. What he will be doing? He will be inciting, trying to incite for suicide tendency. So people, Preta of that particular, they will inciting their own weakness into the human being. And Devayoni, they also inspire, bring inspiration to us for better things. Like that, we are exposed to both type of influences. This is about the Preta Yoni and Devayoni. They exist. Some there are Bhuta Siddhi, try to communicate with those Pretas and have powers. Avita Tantric do it. That is all not spiritual attainment. So what I was telling, Baba says Deva Yonis are positive microvita, Preta Yonis are negative microvita. Actually, they are disembodied soul. It is bodiless mind with sanskaras and longings, not able to express because no panchatattva, physical nerve structure and so on, which requires all the elements. But some tendencies are there. So they are influencing. So what I'm on the way, yes, luminous body. So luminous bodies are one thing. Then ghost, people say haunted house, ghost. Baba says, actually, there is a hallucination, positive hallucination, negative hallucination. If there is a positive hallucination, one can see inner projection, people also see, and they say, we have seen the ghost. And people don't see negative hallucination, but inside, they see themselves as possessed. So they say ghost has caught him. Baba said it's a psychological explanation. There is nothing like, no thing called ghost. So he says in that 2 lectures he had given in the yoga psychology, it is mentioned So just for your sake, so here ghosts are not always positive hallucination. And really speaking, those luminous bodies are not a creation of positive hallucination. And those recreated minds, those Preshita Manasa are not ghosts either. Luminous bodies are not ghosts. Then what is a ghost? Positive hallucination, creation of positive hallucination are ghosts. And they are of human creation. So actually there is no ghost. Now, suppose due to positive hallucination or due to coming in contact with those luminous bodies or due to coming in contact with those recreated mind, one thinks that it's a ghost. And what is the medicine? What is the psychic medicine for such a disease? In the case of positive hallucination, we may say it is sort of disease. But in the case of luminous bodies, a recreated mind, it is not disease because it is something psychic, physico-psychic. It is not disease. But in the case of psychic disease, or when one gets afraid while coming in contact with those luminous bodies, or recreated minds, those Preshita Manasa, what is the medicine? The medicine is to do kirtana or devotional chanting. Do kirtana for 1 minute or repeat your Guru mantra, and that ghost will instantly vanish into thin air. So under no circumstances you should be afraid of ghosts. So positive microvita is not luminous body. Negative microvita is also not preta yoni. So deva yoni, preta yoni, they are called positive microvita, negative micro because of the influence of microvita and their mind, disembodied mind. But microvita has separate in itself. And disembodied soul, they got a cover of this microvita because of their own merits and demerits. They are identified as positive microvita and negative microvita because of the influence on the mind. And then coming to ghost, because we are going to mysterious realm to the spiritual. So on the way, we may come across luminous body. On the way, we may come across, what should I say, projected hallucination. That at Avidya Tantric, the disembodied mind has no nervous structure, no ectoplasmic structure. To express, it needs an ectoplasmic structure. So at Avidya Tantric, part of his, by his own Avidya practice, there is a particular process. He projects, he gives his ectoplasmic stuff to the disembodied mind, and through that projected mind, the disembodied mind, Avidya Tantric takes the work, and people see thrown bricks are coming into air from the thin air, materializing. So they say ghost is there. Baba says it is a work of Avidya Tantric who gave his ectoplasmic stuff to the disembodied soul and got the work done. So that is not ghost, it's Preshita Mana, projected mind of Avidya Tantric. Projected mind given to the disembodied soul which carries out. Or self-suggestion or outer suggestion, you think of it and with concentration, you see a thing inside you or projected outside. That's a hallucination. So ghost, there is no thing called ghost. It may be a hallucination, positive or negative. It may be a luminous body, or it may be work of an Avidya Tantra. But there is no. Under whatever circumstance, if you come across such things and being afraid, terrified, Baba says, what is the medicine? Do kirtana for a minute or any such spiritual thing or repeat Guru Mantra. It will vanish to thin air. So, spiritual attainment, we coming back on the way that luminous bodies, occult powers by Siddhas, or the deities, yakshinis, all those things are nothing to do with spirituality. People go after them as part of spirituality. So we must know spirituality has nothing to do with the deities, nothing to do with the yoginis or yakshinis or dakinis or whatever tantric things, nothing to do with the so-called ghost. So to spirituality. And this spirituality, now we come back, has 3 stages. Spirituality as a cult, spirituality as an essence, and spirituality as a mission. In the figure Yeah. Stages of sadhana. It
Stages
is
of
given,
sadhana.
page number 37 or 38.
Page number means slide number.
It can come earlier also. Here also I can repeat it.
Okay, okay. I'll just bring.
It is a figure. Go ahead, go ahead. आगे बढ़िए. Go ahead, go ahead. Figure. Yeah.
This is cosmology and microvita.
No, Brahma, stages of sadhana. That is the initial part of the figure. I am the concluding part.
Yeah, yeah. 1 minute again. This one?
This one. So, two things we must know, because we are Anand Marg Sadhaka, we are spiritual practitioners. We must know what is our goal, what is our cult. Our cult of spirituality has three parts: spirituality as a cult, spirituality as an essence, spirituality as a mission. Okay? As a cult, we control our propensities, Ashtapasha, Shadripu, our weaknesses, and establish us ourselves in our own self, soul. So we have conquered our own mind, our individual mind. That is the spirituality as a cult. We have conquered Ashtapasha, Shadripu, and established ourselves in our own consciousness. Okay, that is the spirituality as a cult. Then there is collective life, social mind, collective mind. Our spirituality has not expanded beyond our own mind. It has to embrace, include the collective mind. So that part of spirituality, when we expand our mind to embrace, include the collective mind, that is called spirituality as an essence. We have gone a step further in the class of neo-humanism. We have gone above social sentiment, entire humanity. We have gone above all petty group sentiment and entire humanity as one, that social sentiment expanded. So spirituality now able to influence the collective mind. As a spirituality, as a cult, I am able to influence my own mind, mind, control my mind. But when I develop spirituality further, expand it to include the collective mind of humanity, then it is spirituality as an essence. I am able to control the collective mind. Baba could do it. Then journey is to be further. Anand Marg journey of spirituality is not that much only. It has to go ahead. That is coinciding our existential nucleus, Jivatma, to the cosmological nucleus, Paramatma. So that rising, elevating from existential nucleus, the nucleus of the cosmological, that is the spirituality as a mission, a third part of our cult. So spirituality as a cult, spirituality win ourselves, spirituality as an essence, we control or win the collective mind of humanity, and spirituality as a mission, we embrace the total cosmology, universal mind. So entire cosmos, entire universal, we are part of that universal being. Universal being because we are one with the universal being. So that is the spirituality as mission. That is the highest attainment of spirituality. Then also Baba mentioned stages of sadhana. Stages of sadhana. To achieve that spirituality as a cult goal, there is stages. So there are 3 stages of sadhana. Stage 1, by the doer eye. Stage 2, by the knower eye. Stage 3, by going beyond the knower eye. That is into nirvishesha. So I have explained in this figure, cosmology part 1, doer eye becoming the done eye. Cosmology part 2, after Jadaspoja, done eye becoming the doer eye. I have given in this figure. Doer eye, done eye becomes the doer eye. That circle is now complete. What is done I become the undone, become the doer I. That is the stage 1 sadhana. Stage 2, now the knower I starts the sadhana from the, here it is the doer I, the subjective B, and knower I subjective A. Below is the objective part. So done I to doer I, the objective part of sadhana, we become to our doer I. Then from there, the knower I takes up the charge of elevating. So it becomes knower I up to the boundary of cosmic I. It has to go beyond into nirvishesha. So in between is the Taraka. That is the Taraka I, Tarak Brahma in the form of Sadguru. Here is the role of Sadguru because you cannot do anything. In stage 1, it is the work of the MICROVITA. MICROVITA are the doer I, seeds of the doer I, thrown, disseminated from the doer I, from the subject to be. They are thrown into the cosmology part 2 to assemble all the disintegrated matter into atom and all the things, life. So life seeds are sent from the doer I into the stage 2 of the cosmos, and that is the work of MICROVITA from Jadaspota, start of the Jadaspota, start of the atom and universe to evolution, bring to the doer I. So that is the work of MICROVITA. We are MICROVITA, everything is MICROVITA, body, mind, everything is. So that is up to that sadhana stage by the doer I. Then next stage, from the subjective B to subjective A by the knower I. Who is the knower I? Your own I, Mahat Tattva. Who is the doer I? Your Aham Tattva. And what is the below? Your Chitta Tattva. So from body, Chitta to Aham Tattva, Agya Chakra. In this, that is the, in your individual mind, body, your Agya Chakra is the subjective B. Your above that is the subjective A, and beyond is Brahma. So what knower I? And third, from knower I to the nirvishesha, to go beyond the layer of I, is the work, the grace of Paramapurusha, Karuna. Here, after doer I, your MICROVITA work is over. Then the work of knower I, you have got Savikalpa. But to go beyond, only by grace, Karuna possible, not even by the individual. So these are the stages of sadhana, philosophically explained. Now practically, let us see, we are doing yoga sadhana. In yoga sadhana, our yama, niyama, asana, pranayama, up to pratyahara. So it is for doer I. Then dharana, pratyahara dharana, doer I. Then dhyana, that is the sadhana by the knower I. And going beyond to Agya Chakra to Sahasrara by the grace of Paramapurusha only. Knower I also surrender at the altar supreme, surrender and be supreme. So then coming to the figure to illustrate it, our last figure. Last figure. Figure number 36 and 38.
Name, please.
Cult of spirituality, the last portion.
Okay.
Last portion. Macrocosm and microcosm
It
and
is in the
macrocosm.
last three.
Last three.
Okay, 1 minute.
आगे बढ़िए.
It is in the summarizing.
Summarizing figures.
Yes.
आगे बढ़िए. Yeah. उससे पहले. Now, cult of spirituality.
Yes.
Yeah. Here I have shown Swayambhulinga to Shambhulinga. That is the Sushumna Nadi, Ida Pingla, and up to Agya Chakra. Then beyond is your Sahasrara. Now, next figure, microcosm and macrocosm. Next figure. Next figure. Next figure. Last figure. Yeah. Here I have seen, we are a microcosm. All that is in a macrocosm, it is here also. Okay. We are in macrocosm, a miniature macrocosm. So I have shown here that is Sanchara and Pratisanchara. Paramapurusha becoming cosmic eye and all that Sanchara and second. The Sanchara dominant force is called Maya, Avidya Maya, centrifugal, and returning phase, attracting phase to the cosmic nucleus, Vidya Maya. So that is the behind going on eternally. And now we have come in the scene. We have entry in the cosmic picture scene, we have no entry. So, but we are also connected. So what is happening cosmos, happening in our microcosm also. What is happening in macrocosm, it is microcosm. So macrocosm, extroversial flow, introversial flow. In our also, extroversial flow, introversial. That's why Ida Pingla. Pingla represent connected to the extroversial flow of the cosmos. And Ida represents, expresses the introversial flow of the macrocosm. So there are two flows and at centrally elevation, Swayambhu to Shambhu. That is the path, that is the cult. But influenced by the two flows of Vidya Maya, cosmologically, cosmos, and sitting inside, we are also being connected to it. We are also connected, affected. So the extroversial flow represents, the current represents in us through Pingla. And introversial flow, current represents by Ida. So these are, and in the central flow, the cult is in the central, but we have to manage these two cosmological flow while advancing inside. So that is Sushumna Nadi is the central part and outside is a two flow. So we are just a miniature of the macrocosm. So if you do sadhana, that's why we say when the flow is introversion, the Ida is active or Pingla is active, that is the time for sadhana. Where extroversial flow is active, currents are extroversial, and that is also in our structure also, current is extroversial. And we want to do sadhana inside, take inner flow. So it is difficult. That's why sadhana, it is said, you do sadhana when your Ida is active or Sushumna, or both are active, but not when Pingla is active. Why? That is the reason. Whether it is asana, pranayama, or any dhyana, the best is Sushumna is open and both are open, right? Or Ida is open. But only Pingla is active, others are closed, that is not the time. Because the cosmos, the currents are running, we have go along with that, sadhana becomes easy. So stage 1 sadhana is from Mooladhara to Agya Chakra. Agya Chakra, the 50 propensity, 49 mundane, apara, 1 para. So 49 vrittis of Agya Chakra, that is the Duvarai sadhana. And 1 towards para, that is the Novarai, through that channel goes up. That sadhana, stage 2. And after reaching at the doorstep of Shambhu, doorstep of Guru Chakra, there grace of Guru only can take you, can absorb you, take in to take beyond. So that is the third stage. So stage 1 in our hand, easy, up to Mooladhara to Agya Chakra, all concerned asana, lessons of Anand Marga. And from Paravritti, Agya to beyond, up, that is the sadhana by the Novarai, Dhyana. And in Dhyana, absorption, samadhi, that is by his grace. Mukti or moksha, that is by grace. So sadhana in 3 stages, dorai, knowerai, and totally by the grace of surrender and be supreme. That is a song. This body to serve one and all, this mind to attend the cosmic call, this soul at the altar supreme, surrender and be supreme. So surrender is the final point. Surrender is the final part of sadhana, and be supreme. Surrender before whom? Surrender before the Sadguru. Surrender before the Guru in the Agya, in the Guru Chakra. And then only you can go beyond, or you be with him. That is his grace, his karma. So sadhana in 3 stages. Ashtanga Yoga, Anandamar Sadhana explained. And what should I say? The spirituality as a cult, you conquer yourself. Spirituality as an essence, you conquer the collective mind of humanity. And spirituality as a mission, you win the universal mind. You see, such a great thing, sadhana is not a joke. Okay, so we have explained Anand Marg is a cult. It is as a cult in Anand Marg spirituality as a cult, as an essence, as a mission to be one with a cosmological nucleus. It's very great. You become universal man. You see, you can just visualize what a great range is there for us to do sadhana. And from the point of microcosm and macrocosm and MICROVITA philosophy and knowledge, it is MICROVITA role in the doer eye up to Agya, then the knower eye, Agya to Guru Chakra, and at the altar of the Guru Chakra with the surrender and stage 3 sadhana. So in that way, I have explained the MICROVITA subject as a theory, as it's accommodated in phenomenon, accommodated in philosophy and explained. It's only in Anandamar philosophy, no other philosophy. Then as a science, it is a foundational science of all the sciences. And so a revolutionary changes will be coming in coming days by the knowledge of this MICROVITA science. So ultimately concluding, that Baba says, that which I call positive MICROVITA is reality, in reality. What is it? Nothing but the grace of Paramapurusha. I use the term positive MICROVITA to make you laugh. So positive MICROVITA for the scientific community, they cannot understand grace. How grace is working? They need an explanation. Intellectual satisfy the intellect. They say you are given the science of MICROVITA. Something intellectual, then intellectual fails or to go beyond. So, okay, at least something to hold. So MICROVITA theory satisfied the intellectuals. But for the devotees, all these explanation, Gyanor Pahad, load of mountain of knowledge, they don't need. They love their Paramapurusha and they will be one with him and they enjoy playing with him, enjoy the life, irrespective of whatever. That does not mean you remain foolish. So it is very clear for the intellectuals on the path of Anand Marg, they should learn and teach the science of MICROVITA. They should learn and teach the science of MICROVITA. It is a verifiable science and course of study. At the same time, Baba has given bhaktas a different outlook. Both are important and valuable. So again, based on one's mentality, there are a variety of ways of thinking about MICROVITA. The science of MICROVITA, along with the science of spirituality, will usher in a new era in history of humanity, where spirituality will be the guiding factor. You see, Baba has come in the critical juncture. We have to save humanity and usher in a new era. So science of MICROVITA is a foundational science. All science will be revolutionized and new and take humanity a great lead intellectually. Then along with that, just intellectual activity is not sufficient. Science of spirituality, Brahma Vigyan. So science of MICROVITA, science of Brahma Vigyan, science of spirituality. So with both together, which has been included in Anand Marg. So what should I say? will usher in a new era of humanity, where the spirituality will be the guiding, where intuition will be guiding intellect. Presently, intellect has no guidance. So demonic people with highly developed intellect, having highly developed technology as being done with superpowers, they can take the whole globe, humanity in their grip because they have power. So the intellect, no guidance from intuition, no guidance from spirituality, only materialistic mind, materialistic intellect, materialistic aspiration, making them demons. So future of humanity is very dark. So Baba has come to save humanity. To save that, he has given hands of Brahmavigyan, cult, practice, everything at the same time. For intellectual advancement, he has given the lead in the scientific field in the name of the theory and science of microvita. With this both together, humanity will be seeing shortly a great usher in a new era. Dogma will vanish, religion will collapse, spirituality will flourish, and humanity will be laughing, liberated from all kinds of exploitation, because spirituality will be guiding humanity. Intuition will be guiding the intellect. For want of that, today is a miserable situation. So from that, so what is our work? By spiritual practice, by the cult, let us conquer ourselves. We have to conquer ourselves. That is the first starting point. So many temptations, weakness are on the way. So that we are struggling at this stage. Then later on, second stage, as an essence, become one with Paramapurusha. Just Baba Anandmurti is one with that cosmic entity. He is the cosmic entity in human form. If you go with his way, under his guidance, you will be also established with him and serve the humanity universally. That is the concluding part of it. With this, I close my presentation on microvita. At the same time, there should be an action plan. Otherwise, what is the use of all this knowledge? So how to utilize this knowledge? So we need further studies and teachings on microvita. Let people know, more and more people know this such an important subject as called microvita. Let the scientists, that there be scientific circle talks on microvita, on quantum physics and microvita. Similarly, on medical science, so many viruses may come, and one virus has come, you see what is the consequence. Medical science has no answer. So through microvita therapy, it can be, disease can be handled. So all sort of problems can be solved which remain unsolved by the microvita. And for the scientist, for the intelligent microvita, but for the bhakta, God's grace will be there. When you are moving on the cult, the occult things automatically come to help you and things will move smoothly. But so this is the finally that should be an action plan, that is start study centers on microvita, microvita study circles, microvita study center, theory development, understanding. Then based on the applied side of microvita, that's very important. But if you don't have the knowledge of microvita, how you can carry research on it? So first understand the microvita conceptually well, do sadhana, unfold your mental faculty, develop a conceptual power so that you can do research in your mental laboratory. You know where is this point? Macrocosm, there is, let us say, doer-I, that is from microvita emanated. That is the tank. And micro level, you are a miniature. So you have also connected, you have an outlet for the doer-I in you, your aham tattva. You have to identify it. And there is already a pipeline. You have, the tap is closed. If you know how to open the tap in you, that is connected to the tank at macro level, the doer-I, so that will flow and you can just direct the microvita to the desired end and it will be doing the work. So that is, first understand microvita theory, identify where the working point is located in you, your eye, and with dhyana of Baba's Dhyana Sparsha and Varabe Mudra with dhyana and sincere sadhana, that door will be open and through you, the application part will come. Whether in developing that super bombs, whether it's developing for what should I say? Traveling, interspace traveling, or to solve the energy problem. Every solution is microvita science. With this, we need to have an action plan to utilize this knowledge, learn and teach, and also have developed projects, agriculture project, or so many projects that's to be worked on. With this presentation, I end my class, and before ending, I used to start with a prayer which could not be done because of technical problem. But now I concluding, I pray. Sarve bhavantu sukhina, sarve santu niramaya, sarve bhadrani paschantu, ma kashchit dukkhamapnya. Om Shanti, Shanti.
Dadaji,
Yeah.
shall we take some questions?
Yeah, please.
Okay. I'll just go for unmuting all. So everybody just 1 minute.
I am a student, just a student, but I've been trying to collect material so that study becomes easier.
Dada, you will go mute, then you please unmute yourself. Yeah. Dada, please unmute. Unmute yourself. Acha, anybody who is who wants to ask question, please unmute yourself and you may please ask the question. Please raise your hands if it is possible. Ravi Pratap ji, you want to ask question? Dada, Ravi Pratap, Dada, unmute. Yeah.
Namaskar. I'm very happy for that. This nice presentation, very rich and enlightening content that was, and this was good experience for us in the realm of spirituality, microvita, and field of sadhana. So for that, this was a very useful talk by Acharya Rameshwarananda ji. I'm very thankful for that. Okay, no questions. Thank you very much. Okay.
Thank you, Dada. Thank you. Okay, now anyone else, please? Dada, you need to unmute to answer. Rameshwaran Dada, you are mute. Can you unmute yourself?
हो गया?
हाँ, हो गया. So a question, anyone, I think everybody has understood or everybody has taken. Dada, may I ask one question?
Yeah, please.
Regarding these Dev Yonis and Pret Yonis, we have been, means a lot of people has been asking about ghost. Means we come across people ki humko bhoot pakad liya hai. We have come across ghosts. So what actually is the solution as per the positive microvita is there?
Now, Baba said,
Those who are actually caught by the ghost, because I have seen people behaving in a different way, and they say that it is the ghost who is talking, ghost who is actually working inside that. So what is actually it?
in Hindi, we say भूत पकड़ लिया, या कोई देवी पकड़ लिया, है ना? So ये जो it is said, according to Baba on yoga psychology, it is an auto suggestion. Out of fear in the background, mind gets concentrated, and with that concentrated mind, he sees what has been thought of, and he said it is an hallucination. You know, it is not that because of the concentration of mind, he sees that. How to break that concentration? That is the solution. I know only theoretically, practically I have not done.
So this Avidya Tantric who does so many things like jhad puk and all, is that the same thing?
That is explained here that using his ectoplasmic stuff by subtantric technology, he offers that mental part, ectoplasmic part to the disembodied mind. And that this takes a work from the disembodied mind through that. So Baba says, actually he's doing deep concentration meditation without any movement. Somewhere he must be doing and things are being done. Just shake him, break his concentration, bhut will vanish. So that is, Baba says, preshita manasa. Mind is projected and things are being done. It is a part of avidya tantra. Part of avidya tantra. Avidya tantra, auto-suggestion or outer suggestion, and luminous bodies. Bas.
So you mean ghost exists or not?
Baba says there is
Ghost
no
exist
ghost.
or not?
There is no ghost. It is very clearly said. What is a ghost? Positive hallucination, creation of positive hallucination or ghost. And they are human creation. So actually there is no ghost. What should I say? That is what Baba says in yoga psychology. Because we are not understanding psychology so deeply, it is so deep, it has subconscious mind, unconscious mind functions are there. Conscious mind is taken over by subconscious and unconscious, by concentration. Next question.
Anybody else, please? We have still 22 people here, and anyone else? You please ask the question, or shall we conclude? Shall we close the session? This time, Maheshwar Dada is also not having any question. So we are actually going to, I think this is the final of the MICROVITA. So in the last two topics also, Dada, I think if anyone wishes to ask any question based on the past topics, can they ask? The past part 1 and part 2. I think no question is there.
So let me say a few words. Can I say something? Antaranga?
Yes, Dada, please continue and finish it.
Now, this is a series of seminars in connection with the Baba's birthday centenary year. So today it happens to be the birthday celebration organizationally here. And with this, we end our series, a garland of flowers offered to him because of this birthday centenary year, part of birthday centenary year celebration. So my talks, month-wise seminar, that series, today it ends here. That is, only I could not complete two topics. That is restoration of women's dignity, society and society forming movement of Prabhu. And if possibly maybe Tasmai Shri Guruve Nama on Guru. But if Baba wishes, sometime future it will be done. But now presently that series of seminars held so far, that concludes here today on this. Okay, that is my announcement. I thank you all, and also thank you specially for Margi's office bearers, Ananda Pracharak Sangha, Malaysia, and Didi Nandita, who has taken an initiative to conduct this seminar, and Antaranga Dada, who is very busy and you're treating so many patients by Yoga Chikitsa. In spite of that, he could give sufficient time to me to prepare the slides for interaction and so on. And I thank especially Dr. P.D. Narayan, who is a physicist who worked in Atomic Commission Trombay as a metallurgical scientist, and whatever that quantum physics, quantum aspect, he regularly time to time, we used to give enough informative material and have interaction. I thank him particularly because of his help offered to develop this microvita science in the, along with this quantum physics. And finally, I should say Chit Krishnanandji, who organized such a nice program and giving all sort of logistic support for programs like this. I thank you once and for all. Namaskar.
Namaskar, Dada.
Namaskar.
Thank you very much for all your classes, Dada. It was really very inspiring and very nice classes. Very knowledgeable. Yeah, slowly from these classes, we understand about microvita now. Before, when I read also, it was quite difficult for me to understand, but I think now I slowly after having your classes, I can understand about microvita. Thank you very much for everything, Dada.
Utilize these notes.
Yes, Dada.
Whatever programs I conduct is format of a short course, whether on
Yes.
Proud, Tantra, Shiva, a short course. I have to prepare a lot for it. Whole month is engaged in preparing for one presentation. Okay.
Dada, all these classes, seminar classes, recordings are already in the YouTube, Dada.
Yeah,
Anand Marga Malaysia YouTube channel will get all your recordings there.
Thank you, Jyoti.
Yeah, brother Chandrasekhar has already put all your recordings there, Dada.
Very nice.
So anyone, anytime they can just go, they can few times they can hear your talk and then they can understand also. You know, sometimes in one sitting we don't understand, but again and again when we listen, then it becomes easier.
I think now microvita sufficiently, to some extent, have come under comprehension. I think.
Yeah.
Okay, Didi. Thank you.
Namaskar, Dada. I actually wrote a question in the chat. Dada, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
I wrote that Baba said there is no ghost, but there is something like that. What is that? Something like that.
Please explain, please again, repeat, please.
Baba mentioned in yoga psychology, he said there is no ghost, but there is something like that. He just finished the sentence like that.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah, he finished it, the sentence like that. What? So we are wondering, what is something like that?
I think that time microvita theory was not propounded.
I see.
So it was that earlier talk, something like that.
That means he's referring to microvita.
One on 19th October 78. Other discourse on ghost was 15th May 82. So all these things were before delivering talk on microvita. So that time he could not give because microvita term has not come, something like that.
Okay, understood. Thank you. Thank you very much.
So I think we can conclude, Dada.
Yeah, please go ahead, please. Thank you.
Yeah, Dada Antaranga Yogi.
Didi, thank you so much. So
thanks to you also, Dada. You helped to make the slides and everything, and with the help of everyone, we can make this seminar classes successful. So I thank everyone and namaskar to everyone. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Namaskar. Parampitta Baba ki jai.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you,
everybody.
Namaskar.
Thank you.
Again and again. Namaskar.
Namaskar.